Hey, it's Stephanie here at HMO Heaven again. Great to be back with you tonight. And it's such an important topic tonight. It's the 5 red flags to help you avoid a nightmare tenant. Now, in the house share business, especially in any sort of rental, you want to always work with lovely people, have lovely people living in your homes. But it's especially important in a house share where we have a responsibility to our other tenants to make sure that everybody who we introduce to the house or who we invite to move in is also going to be a really good fit with the house and a lovely person. So, in this series, we're taking you behind the scenes of how we organise things, how we do things to keep our business running really smoothly and successfully. So, here we go. The 5 red flags. And I don't think they're what you think they're going to be. But let me know in the comments. So, the first one is where you get someone who's trying to put time pressure on you to move in straight away. So they might come in with something like, I really need to move quickly. I've got my deposit in cash and my rent for the first month in cash. Is it okay if I move in today, they might say, or they might say, is it okay if I move in tomorrow? Now with this, they're trying to circumvent or they might be trying to circumvent the referencing process. Now, we've never let somebody move in this way. We go through the referencing with everyone, but we do know of other people who have let people move in with this way, and it hasn't worked out well in some cases. Sometimes it works okay, sometimes it doesn't. But I wouldn't risk it. Go through your referencing process with everyone. So that's a red flag. The next is that getting all the onboarding information is so difficult, it's almost painful. So they might send you part of the information you've asked for, or they might send you all of the statements but cover with the numbers obscured, or they won't have included the contact details for their employer reference, or all sorts of different things, so that the whole thing becomes a painful and extended experience. That doesn't usually bode well. The next thing is that the third one is they expect you to subsidise them. So let me explain what I mean by this. So say, for example, the room is available from the first of the month, and this person gets paid on the 10th. So they might say something like, or some people might say something like, okay, I get paid on the 10th, and I need, for my deposit and rent, I'll need to wait until the 10th. Is it okay if I then move on the 10th instead of the 1st? So that's how some people would put it. Other people would say, okay, I'll move in on the 1st, but is it okay if I pay my rent and deposit afterwards on the 10th? And that way they're expecting you to subsidise them as a complete stranger who's running a business, and this person has that expectation that you will subsidise them, and that's quite a normal thing to ask you to do. And what we've found is that the people who have that sort of expectation, it seems like a subtle difference, but it's not. It's either you feel responsible to pay for yourself, or you're expecting other people to pay for you who you don't know, and who don't know you, where you haven't got that sort of relationship of trust yet. So we don't do that. And again, we know of various people who've done that and it's not ended well. It might end well, but we don't do that. We want people who believe that it's their responsibility to pay the rent and the deposit, and if it's affordable for them at that time. And we'd be more than delighted to talk to somebody who wanted to move a bit later so that they can move in because if it can't work for that particular room, it might work for another room. And this one is really just for young people. So if somebody's moving in who's like 20, 21, and they need a guarantor for whatever reason, but they're offering a friend or a sibling rather than their parents, that has proved to be a red flag. We've been stung by it before, so that would be a red flag for us, although it's obviously not a definite no. And the last one is if they've got no previous landlord reference. Now, quite a number of our tenants, this is to be the first time they're moving out from home from their parents, and that's okay. So we know that in that case they won't have a landlord reference, but we're just aware now that where there's no previous landlord reference, sometimes that can be because the previous landlord wouldn't give a reference. So it's just to be aware that if somebody's got 3 or more of these issues or these items, the red flag items, then we would progress more cautiously and, with extreme caution, because they are all explainable, they could all be valid. We've got great tenants who might have some of these things, but when they all come together in a cluster, it's just to proceed with caution. Now, the bonus one is that to really listen and observe during the period where you're arranging the viewing online, and then when you're attending the viewing. So when we're attending a viewing, we are there to showcase the house and the service that we provide, and to be professional and friendly. And the potential tenant is also wanting to show their best side and putting their best foot forward. So if somebody's there for not interested or a bit rude or very curt or indifferent, that can show of how they're going to be in the future. People are how they are, and people show you how they are. We just don't see it. So that's my bonus to you. That shows you when people show you how they are, as Oprah said, believe them the first time. So do you agree with my red flags? Do you agree with our red flags? Or what are your red flags? And let me know in the comments. And of course, if you found this useful, please subscribe and also give me a thumbs up to say you like this video. And let's have a chat in the comments. Okay, guys, bye for now. I'll see you next week.